Welcome to another episode of Making Dough Show, where we love talking about making dough in the restaurant business, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And today I'm going to be talking about restroom policy. So that is a question that was placed on our website. And if you have any questions about management and what have you, would love to talk about it on this show. Go to our website, www.makingdoughshow.com, and submit your question. I'd be happy to cover it on the show. This question was placed on our website by Francisco, and that is, he's saying that some of his employees go to the restrooms just a few minutes before they clock out, and they stay there for 10 to 20 minutes. This is on top of the restroom breaks throughout the shift. First off, Francisco, we all have similar issues such as this where, obviously it doesn't take a genius to figure out what is going on. People sometimes by default trying to escape from work, they go to the restroom, they hang out on their cell phone, and they pretend to be they're in the restroom, but they pretend to be doing their business in the restroom when they're not actually being helpful to the team. So here are 5 practical tips for you when it comes to that and what kind of a policy, may need to be in place. So first is that I really like to approach things in a proactive way before they become a problem. First off is you need to make sure you have a policy in place, which you obviously communicated you have a policy in place when it comes to your break policy. So maybe you do need to add a section to that. Hey, you have a restroom policy. So beyond that, if you go to the restroom more than 5 minutes, you're going to receive a coaching slip. So make that part of your policy. The next tip that I have for you when it comes to any policy is that company policy needs to be communicated over and over again. You have new team members and people quickly forget things. So maybe you need to create and, print that policy that you have in place, create a sign-in sheet where you have the name of all of your team members. We call that team memos in our company, where you have the policy in place and you say, hey, sign an initial here to acknowledge that you read the policy and you understand it. Just doing that, maybe bringing that back and having everybody sign it again is another shift in the corrective measures that you need to take to shift your culture for people to be like, oh, I forgot that we had that policy in place. So when it comes to going to correcting it in the future, you can refer to, hey, do you remember 2 weeks ago everybody signed that policy? So they're not going to be like, oh, I didn't know, right? So you're communicating that policy again. Another policy we have in place in our kitchen is to honor the team that if you are stepping away for whatever reason, for example, you're working in the kitchen, or maybe you're a server that you need to step away to do something. So for example, if you're a kitchen team member and you need to step away to go to the restroom, hypothetically, I have them communicate to the manager or the lead in the kitchen to say, hey, John, I'm stepping out to go to the restroom real quick. I'll be back. Or I got a phone call from my mom or from my spouse. I need to take this call. I'm going to step away and I'll be back. So if a team member steps away and I'm looking for them and I don't see them, when they surface back into the kitchen, I ask them, again, courteously, hey, John, where were you? And they're going to tell me they were in the restroom or they had to pick a phone call and what have you. And I said, hey, I was looking for you. I did not know where you were. So-and-so was looking for this. We thought you took it, or maybe whatever it was. Next time, if you need to step away, please let me know. So this is to respect the team. Even me as a manager, if I'm stepping away, maybe I'm just going into the office, I'm going to let the team know, hey guys, I'm going to go into the office, work on the schedule. If you need anything, come get me. Or I'm going to go, talk to a customer. I need to make a phone call about, the fact that we're almost out of blah, 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 and whatever it is. So I'm letting the team know I am going to over-communicate where I'm at and what am I working on, and I'm going to expect the same thing from the team. When a team member knows that when they're going to the restroom, that the manager knows that they're stepping away to go to the restroom, they're mindful of the manager knows, so that's also going to correct that issue a little bit, that they're going to come back to the kitchen sooner because they know the manager knows where they're at. Another tip that I have for you is to ask your, whoever your team member is, to let you know the implications that their actions are taking. So whenever I sit down with a team member, I ask them, hey, listen, we got Lily over here making dough and Isabella's over there, chopping up some vegetables. And it seems like you step away from the restroom, more than 15 minutes at a time. So first off, is everything okay? Or you have any health issues or anything? And they're going to be like, no, I'm okay and whatever. And I ask them, so how does it feel for the team to see you step away and be 20 minutes away when the rest of the team is working really hard, trying to catch up on dishes or prep? And I pause and ask them to tell me. Sometimes people don't understand the implications of their actions. And so it is important to ask them that question and put it into perspective. It's not about the 10 to 15 minutes that you're in the bathroom, but rather it is about, how it affects the team. The last tip that I have for you is confronting this team member, and nobody likes doing that. Of course, it is uncomfortable. So my approach is I do not make claims. I ask very direct and honest questions and have them answer that question and get their answer on record. And this is how I do it. So I tell them, hey, it seems like you were in the did you take a bathroom break at 10? Hypothetically, I know that already they had a bathroom break and I already know that they took that break, right? And they're like, I don't know, for example, 3 p.m. Did you take your bathroom, your restroom break at 3 p.m.? And they're going to say, yes, they did. Or no, right? Maybe that will tell me what's been going on. But they say, for example, yes, they did. And then I tell them, so it seems like it's, at 4 o'clock, right, they had to go to the bathroom for 15, 20 minutes and they're back in the kitchen to clock out, or they're back in to clock out. So I'm going to wait for them to come out. And so I'm going to ask them a direct question. So I'm going to say, so it seems like, you've been in the restroom for the last 15 to 20 minutes. Is that correct? And I'm just asking them a question, right? They're going to say yes. And I'm going to ask them a second honest question. I'm going to say, hey, you're not in the restroom just on your cell phone, are you? They're going to probably tell you, oh, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. My stomach is upset. But they will know that next time this happens again, I am aware. I asked them a question. You're not on your cell phone, right? And they know that they may have lied to me. They're going to feel really guilty about it, hopefully, or they don't belong to this team, clearly, if they're liars. That, again, I'm asking them that on, okay, just making sure that you are not just on your cell phone, because the team in the back here is working really hard to set the shift up for success. So I just want to make sure that you were not just on your cell phone. They're going to say, no, I wasn't. So, but what that's going to do is next time when this happens again, they're not going to be hopefully in the bathroom for 15, 20 minutes because they know they're going to have me have an honest conversation with them when they come out. Let me know your thoughts on these quick tips that I was going to give you. Sadly, this is an ongoing thing. If you have company policies, which you sure do, you need to be communicating them on an ongoing basis. If you think that you tell them once and that is enough, it's not going to be. You know what I mean? If you have children, you need to remind them of pick up after, their clothes that they've dropped. They need to pick it up. They need to go to bed. They need to bathe themselves. This is what we do. This is what management is, reminding of people of what they need to do and raising their standards, putting things into perspective as to their actions and the implications on the team, and you're expecting more from them and how they can raise their leadership level by the way they serve the team. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Making Dough Show. Let me know your thoughts. Send me a quick email at makingdoughshow@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to the show on YouTube and on all podcast platforms. And if you can leave us a review on iTunes or what have you, it would mean the world to me. And now with that, let's get back to our work and make some dough. Thank you. Bye-bye.